Yo, what's good, guys? It's JD here. Hello, and welcome back to another podcast. Back at it with Jazz once again. Jazz, welcome back to the channel, buddy.
Thank you, man.
Oh,
Gone from sweating in Unlimited yesterday to sweating because it's 30 degrees today. Like, that's where we are.
Pretty much. But you can kind of hose off a little bit because Season 9's rewards have been released. And there's not too much that we need to be sweating about over Season 9. So we didn't get a blog today. Everybody, we would have gone through an entire blog, but we don't have an entire blog. We have got one picture with 7 pictures in the pictures of the rewards for the main game modes. We're going to be breaking them all down in this video. So if you're new to the channel, subscribe for plenty more from me and Jazz over the coming month, because obviously there's not really that much going on 2K. So we're going to be doing some more long-form podcasty style content. And yeah, let's jump into season number 9. So you've seen the players.
So much to talk about.
You've seen the players. You know, you haven't seen the blog.
Yeah, you're going to have to refresh me, but yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So off the top, we will say we have got level 40, point guard, shooting guard, Luka Doncic. Unlimited is JR. Clutch time is Scotty Barnes. Limited is Carmelo. And one thing to know about limited, it's only 3 weekends. Draft is Tim Duncan. Invincible. Ascension is Invincible Derrick Rose. And triple threat. It doesn't actually say, I think triple threat, if they don't put online, I think that's triple threat offline. So I think triple threat offline, and that's not the vault. I think it'll be on the ladder. So it'll either be 2,500 wins or 2,250. And if they do the same as last year, it'll be 2,500 wins for that Invincible Vince Carter. So they're the 7 cards. They're the 7 names. Initial thoughts on
I mean, as expected.
It is. I didn't expect any new cards. You know, I was coming into this fully expecting it to be re-released. I don't know people that were expecting new cards. People hyping it up that there's going to be new sets coming and new promos. You know, I get it, it's for views, but like that was never going to happen. You're just giving people false hope, which then in turn leads to disappointment. Which is, you know, we don't need people to be disappointed. So definitely not surprising.
I mean, it's still disappointing because of the cards they chose.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
The concept is exactly like if anyone's expecting something different as well, I don't know what to say to you. Like at this point, like you're just deluded. We weren't going to get recycled cards, but the cards they've chosen they've had a shocker.
I just don't understand how they've done it. Because even if you look back to last year, this isn't even comparing them to like any other games company. Comparing 2K to themselves from last year, we had level 40 was Invincible KD. It was auctionable. Ascension was Invincible Kobe, and we had Invincible Giannis in the vault. So we've gone from those, you know, 3 like superstar mega names to J.R. Smith, Scotty Barnes, and you know, like a Tim Duncan coming out of the draft when we know what Tim Duncan's like in the game. The fact that they've regressed just doesn't make sense. The fact that they've only picked 4 endgame cards when you've got 29 to pick from doesn't make sense. And then they have literally picked the 3 cheapest ones.
Yeah, the Invincibles are absolute shocker. Like, should we go through them one by one and say what we
definitely. Yeah, let's go for it.
Yeah, so like level 40 is a tough one, right? Because the one I would have gone for is point guard Giannis. I think that would have been the best level 40 reward we could have got, would have made the most sense. We're not going to get Taco or Yao. So anyone who thought we were going to get either of those cards, like 2K still trying to make money by the end of the year. So they're not going to write that off. But I don't think they could have put Giannis in because of the lock-in. So many people have got small forward Giannis that that would have been probably equally as controversial. I don't know really who I would have gone with for level 40. It's a tough one. Maybe KP or LeBron, maybe. But
then you got LeBron in the... Yeah, you got LeBron in the lock-in as well. Let me get.
It's tough, actually. Like because you have to basically write off the 5 cards that were in that lock-in, right?
And then the other 2 versions of all 5 of those cards.
Yeah. So they were really limited, really, on what they could have done. Who were the 5 cards in the lock-in? Can you remember?
Yeah. So it was Giannis, LeBron, Kobe, MJ, and Kareem.
Yeah.
Don't ask me to tell you which versions they were, but it was those 5.
Yeah.
So, you know, someone like KD. He wasn't in there. Small forward point guard KD, level 40. I think people are a lot more happy. Even the point guard Tracy McGrady, I think would have gone down a hell of a lot better. Ben Simmons was still
T-Mac would have been perfect.
T-Mac would have been great. I don't think anybody would have been mad at a T-Mac. That's probably about it out of the cards that aren't. Even Kobe, you know, even Kobe, bring Kobe back and put him on there. So level 40, it's the least egregious out of all of the rewards, I would say, because Luka does actually have the most value. Right now on PlayStation, he's trading for about 50k. So, you know, He's
not tomorrow.
Yeah, like he's not super cheap, but he will be. And it's still a great card. You know, we've got memories of level 40 Luca from last year.
Yeah.
So I think level 40 Luca is probably the one that I'm like, okay, fair enough. But yeah, they could have done so much better with it. And like you say, they would never have done a tackle Yao, but you know, last year we did get Invincible Taco. You know, he was obviously, you know, the gauntlets we had to play for him, but like he wasn't impact. They weren't monetizing Taco last year, and like they've already made their money from these packs, or like the bulk of their money from these packs. If they put Taco there, maybe then people are like, okay, now let me go open pack, see if I can get Yao to put next to my Taco. So
yeah, my issue with Luca is there's two endgame cards that I think are questionably not as good as their Invincibles.
Oh, okay,
Luca's one of them, right?
Yeah, good point.
The other one I don't agree with. I used to think MJ was the Invincible was better until I got the end game, and it's not close. It's not close. The end game's so much better. But Luca is that one because of the jumper, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So in a way, it's probably the worst card they could have picked.
Have a look at Luca. Yeah, because so many people still use that Invincible one because of the Luca jump shot. And that's what they kind of know Luca as. With this endgame Luca, you know, he is just another one of the 29 that we've got now. But that Invincible Luca was, okay, this card is mad. This card is one of a kind. Nobody does what he does. And, you know, then they took that away and now they are giving that as a reward. Yeah, you're right. People probably are still running with like the power within Luca. People are probably still running with that card, like 74 off badges, because why not? And you got two other Invincible versions. So, yeah.
We both got all the end games, right? You pulled all of them original owner, didn't you?
I did.
That's wild.
9.3 mil. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I pulled 3 mil in packs. Fortunately, I got 2 Yaos, so I sold the other Yao, and then anyone who I didn't pull, I bought from the auction house. So I've got all of them. But if you look at the cards I would run, Luca's not in the top 20.
Yeah.
You could argue he's probably last because I think I would rather run the Invincible if I was going to run Luca. So I've got a Mystic Luca that's got 80 offs. It's a better card because it's
completed season 9. Completed already.
That's a fail. That is a fail. There's so much more they could have done.
Yeah, definitely. And then the next one up is the worst one. I don't think there's any debate here. Unlimited being J.R. Smith. Unlimited, I think they'll have to tone it down a little bit. I don't think it'll be 53 games again because they're doing a shortened limited. So you can only assume they're going to do like a short. 30, I think about 30 is probably about right. But JR is the cheapest endgame card you can get. You know, there's him and Scotty about 15k. He is one of the cheapest. So you're making the sweatiest game mode for the least reward possible.
There's a bigger problem than that with this. So I just got Grant Hill 2 days ago.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. It was the worst. I have a video on it if you want to see it. I was 11-4.
11-4
game. Here's the real issue with JR. On my unlimited run, guess what card I wasn't seeing very often?
Could it be JR?
Yeah. So if you're getting JR with this meta, you've already got a squad that will not allow for him.
Yep.
So he's redundant. If you can get him, you don't need it.
100%. If you could get him, you can afford him as well. You afford like 50 of them.
Yeah. I mean, 9 out of 10 games, full endgame squads. Is the only people that are playing unlimited right now.
Yeah. But none of them with JR.
No. I mean, no one's running that card. Like that position, you're not running them at point guard because there's 5 or 6 better endgame options.
And giants at point guard as well.
Yeah, Kareem, Simmons. Even MJ's a better option. Kobe's a better option. You're not running them at shooting guard because it's just as competitive. Like, am I running them over T-Mac? I don't think so. Am I running them over KD? Definitely not.
Yeah.
And the price difference between these cards isn't big enough for someone to need to run JR. It's just pointless. It's absolutely pointless. I mean, I'm not saying Grant Hill wasn't. You could argue it's better than Grant Hill.
But the thing with Grant Hill is you've got that, and that is now a badge of honor for you. You know, if you run Grant Hill, somebody's like, oh damn, this guy sweated in August. What a weirdo. But
it's not even a trophy.
You don't have that with JR. You know, that's the whole point of these game modes, the top end game modes. You're meant to have something that you can run and be like, you know, this is something I worked for. You know, respect me. Like, look at what I've done. But like you said, even if you get JR, you're not even gonna run him.
Yeah, you're right. It's not even the badge of honor anymore. It's not even a token to say
No.
you've done it. It's literally pointless. It's pretty bad. JR is probably probably the worst card they could have put in unlimited.
Yeah, I'm
going to do it anyway because I'm an idiot, but there's nothing else to do, so I'm going to play unlimited till the end of the year. Like,
that is true. And also, like, in terms of name association, again, like, does J.R. Smith get people pumped and wanting to play a game mode? The answer is just no. You know, people had a little bit of hype when he was dropped because it was his first card this year, and they're like, oh, JR's back. But if we had JR cards all throughout a year, I don't think that hype would have been there. And there's just no hype now. I mean, the fact that his price is so cheap shows that people don't want him. You know, they're packing him and they're just like, let me just sell him real quick.
Yeah.
They don't want him. So it's a very confusing one. I don't understand that one, or any of them, but like that one specifically, I think it's worse.
It's not a stretch to define him as a troll card in the endgame packs.
Oh, no, absolutely not. I kept data of my 9 million MTs worth of packs. I think Scotty Barnes and AD were the most common. I packed both of those guys 18 times before I got Kobe, which is wild. I think JR was joint third with 15 pulls, along with the shooting guard Luka. So 100%, like one of the most common pulls out of those packs, which contributes to his price. But then again, name association and the way he is in game, you know, I just don't understand. And, you know, for Unlimited, I think we could have again put KD there, T-Mac there, Ben Simmons there. I feel like Ben Simmons would have been a good fit for Unlimited.
Yeah, that's a great shout. Yeah.
Because it kind of feels like, you know, it's a little bit cheese. You associate Ben Simmons with cheese, and Unlimited is that game mode. So Ben Simmons would have been a good reward.
Yeah, perfect. So what we got? T-Mac level 40 and Simmons in.
I think point guard, or do we go point guard or shooting guard T-Mac for the Raptors one or the Magic one?
I prefer the shooting guard one because he's got Trey.
So that's what a lot of people do. Yeah, I think a lot of people prefer that one, and that's the set shot 25 one, isn't it?
Yes.
Shooting guard one, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm good with that. So we'll go Raptors T-Mac level 40, and then Ben Simmons Unlimited.
Yeah.
Sweet. I mean, we could stop there and put no rewards anywhere else, and we're still
yes. Already. See, I'm gonna give a take at the end of this about all of these game modes and how, even though this is a disaster, they can save it by doing one thing without changing any of this.
Okay, you have my curiosity. Right,
yeah, we'll
clutch time.
Get there.
Clutch time. Scotty Barnes. And I assume that is for 100 wins rather than the wheel spin. Yeah, clutch time, 100 wins, Scotty Barnes. Again, one of the cheapest endgame cards out there. You are looking at, again, about 15,000 MT for 100 wins. Scotty Barnes was one of the first endgame cards to drop. It does have the Curry slide.
The second one, right? Was it Magic and then him? Is that how
I think so, yeah, because then they did it just because he was Rookie of the Year and then didn't do any other reward.
They did it for HTB, basically.
Yeah. So it was like, okay, sure, 2K, you know. So Scotty Barnes gets one Rookie of the Year, but then like no most improved, 6-man. It was just on the one time. But yeah, about 15K, not expensive. Again, not going to get people playing the game mode.
I agree. Yeah, it's a pretty bad option. I mean, clutch time has been so good for the rewards this year. So that one's like extra. I would say clutch time's actually had the best track record this year for rewards. Coming
off of Chris Webber, especially.
Yeah.
Like this is a huge fall off.
Yeah.
Well, I know
was Fernando Martin before that? Was he the season before that? Was there someone in between?
No, I feel like it was Fernando Martin with Agent Zero on the wheel spin, I think. So last season, I don't know. It all blurs together, man.
But just look at even the RNG cards they've had, like Mark Eaton, Reggie Lewis, Michael Redd. It's been the most rewarding mode all year. It's kind of a big. I actually predicted that the clutch time would be the best reward.
Mm-hmm.
It might be actually, even though it's Scotty, it might be. No, I think the next one is.
So, like in the unlimited games that you play as well against full end game squads, any of them have Scotty Barnes in there?
No.
And again, that's another.
How competitive is that position, bro?
Exactly, and he's 6'7", small forward fine, but power forward against.
I would run Swish Cream over him.
Yeah, I think everyone would, and he got out of position. Who plays at the 3? Taco plays at the 3, doesn't he? And then Yao's at the is one of the 2. But yeah,
even with the end games, you've got Giannis, you've got LeBron, you've got Webber.
So many.
I mean, he's not as good as the clutch time reward last season.
No, nowhere near. And again, last season you had that. Hey, look, I got Chris Webber. You don't because you haven't played 100 games.
Yeah.
This time around, we're like, oh, hey, I got 15K that you don't because I won 100 games. Like, that's not doing it for anybody. So
I mean, from that perspective, like, how long are we going to use these cards, right? Like, I kind of get that they're like, if they put in new cards, for example, we're going to get like 1 week's use out of them. But it's just they've just chosen the wrong cards. It's so easy. They didn't have to do anything. They just had to take the cards that they had and put them into the modes to create some level of excitement. Like we're never going to have a scenario where someone else couldn't own that card already. So that kind of trophy aspect was out the window. But
and let me see when
for a week, just let them use it. Like,
when did Scotty Barnes release? So he was released June the 23rd.
Let's say season 7, right? Yeah, he was.
Let's say you're a massive Raptors fan or a Scotty Barnes fan, and you've ran that card since June the 23rd. We are now in August.
Yeah.
And 2K like, oh, hey, if you play 100 games, you can get Scotty Barnes now.
Like, do you know what the one saving grace through all of this is? That they release endgame packs first. Because if people had these cards and they'd still been at the value that they were a week ago, they would have been, people would be lighting fires right now.
Like the anniversary collection when we locked it in for 500k, and then 3 days later, it was worth like 1/10 of that value.
I'm so glad. I literally locked in one and I sold the other collection.
Smart.
Smartest thing I've done all year.
Yeah, I understand. I locked it in 3 days. In those 3 days, I don't think I actually played a game anyway. And then Friday came around and it was like, RIP to the value of your collection.
Yeah. You know what's funny as well? People were like railing me on Twitter going like, it's end of the game, just lock in. What have you got to lose? Blah, blah, blah. 2 days later, I'm using that 400k to pick up every card that I want in the game. Like, come on, bro. We got to be smarter than this. Yeah, okay, it was a no-brainer. Technically, you were right. But it ain't that matter of fact, man. There's never is at this point in the year.
I thought they'd give us a week and a half, but no, it was 3 days.
Yeah.
It's an expensive ass 3 days.
The thing is, I tweeted out, like, I literally tweeted out that we were going to get endgame packs that Friday. And then everyone was saying, no, it's going to be the following Friday or the Friday after that. I was like, no, man, they're going to burn it down. It was so obvious where they were, like where their headspace was, that they were ending the game immediately to focus on next year. Like, they had no interest in dragging this out. And the longer those packs are out, the more they get pulled, so they make more money.
That is true. That's true. Right, let's make clutch time better then. So who are we putting as a reward for clutch time? I'm going to say, because clutch time is a good mode. I think most of us play. You know, I've got 100 wins this season in clutch time and not much else. I'd say putting Kobe there as a big name.
Shaq.
You want to bring Shaq in there?
I would have put Shaq. Shaq's now my backup power forward. He's a beast. He kicked Wilt to the curb. He's gone.
Right, anybody could have kicked Wilt to the curb. My God, that release. Jesus, do not bring that up to me.
Yeah, I think Shaq or Porzingis would have been good for clutch time.
I think
that's like I said, just to keep kind of the trajectory of how good the rewards have been. Not saying Kobe's a terrible card; he's decent. But Porzingis and Shaq are going to run in most people's teams.
But Kobe, you're not really seeing much out there.
Kobe doesn't run in my team.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Okay, yeah, a unicorn or Shaq.
Yeah,
let's go with a Diesel. I'm happy for the Diesel in there.
I mean, Porzingis starts, so he's my starting power forward. And Shaq's my backup. But I think, Shaq is like one of the most slept on cards in this game. I think for that reason alone, it would have been good to see people get it so they can see how good he is.
Okay, so we'll put Shaq in clutch time. Then we've got limited. There's only a 3-week free run, so it is going to end. What's the date today? So you get the first ring this Friday, which is the 12th, second ring on the 19th, third ring on the 26th, which is 2 weeks exactly before 2K23. So you're going to be able to get this card for 2 weeks before the new game, and that is Carmelo Anthony, who also happens to be worth nothing, and he's about 15k as well, same as JR and same as Scotty Barnes. So if you're playing limited, you know, it's been bad all year, so it's not really a surprise. Again, we'll pick a better card in a minute, but not really a surprise. This is what it is. If you do limited, you know what you're going to expect now, at least at the start of the season.
He's the best one out of the 4.
Well, in terms of usability.
Yeah.
I haven't played the game enough to disagree.
I mean, he's a 6'9" shooting guard, right? Like, he's definitely the best.
Oh, he was hella expensive when he first came out, wasn't he? Because he was like the best shooting guards out of the endgame ones when he was first there. So yeah, no,
I think they've overachieved. I think it's limited. Keep tradition. What's the worst endgame? Magic.
I like Magic.
You do like Magic.
I like the point guard shooting guard one. That was one of my favorite cards I've used this year. I think the biggest troll is probably Anthony Davis. I don't think anybody uses AD, do they?
Yeah, that would have been good. What's the worst invincible card? Robert Horry?
Oh, there's some absolute stinkers. Nah, like the old AD. I'm throwing AD under the bus here.
Yeah, AD's
like
down bad.
Pau Gasol, like some of those guys.
One of them. I think with limited, you've got to keep the tradition. I love seeing everyone rage every season when the limited reward is worse than they thought it would be, yet they still expect it to be good. I think we've got to keep tradition. I think they've overachieved by giving us.
Are there any absolutely tiny invincibles? We got any like 6-1 invincibles or something like that, or like 6?
Well, we've got the ones that came out this season that are basically in this, right?
Ja
Morant, maybe.
Ja Morant is such a troll out of those packs, but he does actually have a little bit of value, so I feel like even that's too much.
Like, Vince would have been good, actually. Vince would have been good.
Yeah.
He's decent though. Tim Duncan's pretty bad. That would have worked.
Yeah, who's like a really uninspiring name. I think the old Anthony Davis or Pau Gasol, just for like nobody would ever want to get them. Let's just chuck them in there, and everyone's going to look at it and just think that's awful. Why is this a thing?
It's the only reason we talk about this mode is because the reward is bad. Otherwise, it'd have zero relevance. Like,
exactly.
Keep it that way. I've obviously done that on purpose because people went crazy about the limited rewards. So they've made the limited reward decent. I mean, you'll see people running Bello a lot, I think.
Yeah.
He is decent. He is decent. He's not a bad card at all. He's not far off like a KD.
At least they've said what it is at the start as well. They've not made people wait, the 5 weeks, get 5 rings, and then say, hey, this is what your choice is going to be.
Yeah.
At the start, it's like, hey, if you're going to play these 3 weeks, this is what you're going to get, just to let you know. So are you changing Melo, or are you keeping Melo there?
Like I said, I'd make it as disappointing as possible. I think that's...
Okay, so we're going with the invincible...
Pau Gasol.
I think maybe Tim Duncan, just because even the colours, the Spurs colours, it's all grey. It's just miserable. I think the colours just adding to the tone of the game mode. I think we'll chuck in Tim Duncan, which is ironic.
I think it's tradition. We can't break tradition, man, by giving out good limited rewards.
Okay, so we'll go Tim Duncan there, which is ironic because he is the next actual legit reward that Tim is giving out. Which is for the draft. I mean, you talk about a game mode that is following a pattern of just always being under-rewarding and just drab and just uninspiring as well. I think the draft really gives Limited a run for its money in that regard.
It's worse. It's worse.
I mean, one season was good. One season was good. Glenn Robinson at the start of the year, everybody got him. Right? Yeah, season 1, everybody got him. And then I can't.
Season? Was it Jerry West last season?
Yeah, Jerry West. I mean, put a 6-foot point guard in there and see what happens. Do you know what I mean? Like, just say it's over before it's done. Who else have we got? Worst
card I can think of. Like, that's where we are right now. So I think they should. I don't even think it should have been invincible. We want to keep drafts, traditions alive. Like,
do you think it's a dark matter?
Yeah. Well, the Steph Curry dark matter, the first dark matter that came out, that's what it should have been. It has to be a small point guard. That's tradition.
Yeah. And then they can say, oh, hey, here's your finals MVP card that you've asked for because everybody wants an endgame Steph. They'll be like, oh, here's a Dark Matter one re-release from like 10 months ago. Yeah, I'm down with it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, let's keep tradition. Let's think like 2K here and do what 2K would do, like it's any other season. And yeah, just someone completely unusable. Who do you think is the worst Dark Matter in the game?
Again,
it's actually a tough question.
There's so many, isn't there? I'm trying to think of somebody who's got really slow speed because my play style is just like run and gun, play and hope for the best. So if anybody's slow, instant dislike. And I'm sure there's probably some Dark Matters with like 70 speed or something that I would absolutely hate.
Yeah.
Probably like some big, slow, sluggish center. I don't know who, but probably some of those. But yeah, we could put them as a draft reward. I mean, to be fair, 2K have done a good job. I mean, they've put Tim Duncan as the draft reward. I mean, that is awful. Like, they're... and again, it's all great.
We're struggling to get it the bar lower. That's
I'm kind of all right with Tim Duncan being in the draft and limited as well. Just dead both game modes, and then they kind of help each other be worse because it's the same reward for both game modes. So bring each other down.
It's bad. Yeah,
we can keep Tim Duncan for the draft as well.
I mean, if you run into someone playing using Tim Duncan,
God.
You know they've had the game for 3 days.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe even just 1 day. Maybe it's just their first day on the game. You just feel sorry for them. You kind of want to give them the win.
It's sad as well, because we spoke about this last time, but draft is the easiest mode, right? So for like a casual, they're going to be all over it. They're going to think this is a good card because they're new to the game. And then they're going to use it and go, yeah, I'm going to go pick up a Ralph Sampson for 8K.
Yeah, just literally anybody.
Yeah.
It's not named Tim Duncan.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's another role. What's
Yeah.
the next one?
Ascension next up. Now, Ascension last season was Daryl Dawkins, wasn't it? Did you get Daryl Dawkins off the Ascension
It's
board?
the first Ascension reward I did not get, and also,
Oh, really?
shout out to 2K. It's the first time I couldn't get him from beyond level 40. So
yeah,
the RNG god died because of that.
That's actually a bit. He's actually really. I was just about to big him up. It was actually
He's
a
good,
really
yeah.
good Ascension reward. He was actually quite nice. I think most people who used him, he got the jump shot for same as Ralph Sampson. 6'11",
Yeah.
7'3" wingspan. He was actually quite good. He actually felt like he was fast. We know 99 doesn't really mean anything. It's just how they feel out on the floor. He actually felt good, and I actually liked him as an Ascension reward.
I played him multiple times. Yeah, he's good. It's literally in the last 3 seasons, I missed one reward card, and it was the only one that I physically couldn't get.
Yeah, he didn't even get an option. That's tough. Well,
that'll bring me on to my point at the end. So.
Okay, keep it in mind. Well, Tuga this season have said, you want to get the Ascension? Hold this Derrick Rose invincible card, who I think was like 10, no, maybe it's a bit more, 15k. Again, I don't know, not much. Like, you can buy him now and complete the Ascension board. So, yeah.
I mean, we're going to do nothing for him. He's just going to show up or not, right?
Yeah.
So, not the, like, literally zero effort will go into acquiring this card if anyone gets them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's trash, isn't it? Like, at the end of the day, like, D-Rose is a fun card to use.
I've had good fun using Derrick Rose, to be fair.
Yeah, so he will get used in a mode like Triple Threat online or whatever, but I think Duke have got a bigger issue because of this, which, again, we'll probably chat about at the end, which is, I don't think anyone's going to be using any of these cards. I think people have deleted the game today.
I think so. And again, go back to last year, Ascension board, we had Kobe.
I pulled him as well off the Ascension board, I remember.
Yeah, so did I as well, because it was exciting. It was like, I can get Invincible Kobe, that's good. I went back to my videos last year. I got Invincible KD from level 40. I got a Kobe from the Ascension board.
Yeah.
I got Invincible Vince from doing a domination in August. I don't know what was wrong with me last year, but I did a domination in August. We wanted to do these things because those cards has value. KD was still 100k. I think the Kobe was probably around that as well, maybe when he was first dropped.
Well, the power creep was entirely different, right? So a card like D Rose this time last year would have had more value.
Yeah, and because there was no 29 endgame cards, it was 5 goats.
That's what I mean. Yeah,
and that was it. Yeah,
the power creep is just off the. It literally can't get any higher. We've never got to that point in 2K before where cards physically can't be any better. So anything that's not one of these cards, I mean, we're even talking about these cards being disappointing.
Yeah, and they're still invincible. As they were still last year the best in their game.
Yeah.
It's all relative, isn't it? Because when you got this year, everything with like perfect SIGs and perfect animations or whatever. D Rose as a 6'3" point guard. Again, would you ever see a 6'3" point guard in a limited during your run? No.
I'm a little bit torn on this one. I am a little bit torn on this one because I don't think there's many. I'd rather get D Rose than an invincible that came out with an endgame card. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I'd rather get D Rose than like T-Max invincible or Taco's invincible because I've got the endgame versions of those cards. But that's me. I'm definitely not speaking for everyone else. I'm sure they'd rather have invincible Taco if they don't have it. But for me, it's probably better to get a card that I'm unlikely to have a better version of.
Yeah.
So that way it's kind of good, but it's still an L.
Let me see about invincibles who don't have an endgame card, who maybe have a little bit of value. So maybe someone like the Admiral. I think David Robertson probably has a bit of value.
Yeah,
doesn't have an endgame card.
Yeah,
still a very good center. Somebody like
really good power forward. I actually ran it for a bit. It was very good.
Yeah, exactly. So like, people would like that card. I don't think that'd be a bad thing to do. Somebody like I think that's a good shout. I think D-Rob would be a nice.
I think that was a great shout.
Yeah. And then we get on to the final one, which is Invincible Vince being added back onto Triple Threat, because that's where he came mid-season, didn't he? He was one of the random Wednesday drops. Was he?
Yeah, I pulled him twice.
Yeah, and so was Derrick Rose, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was him, Jar. So it's Vince, Jar, D Rose, and Manu. They were the 4.
Manu was definitely there, yeah. So Vince, as I said, if they do the same as last year, it'll be 2,500 wins, be an extra 500 wins.
You don't think he's going to be the RNG card? You think he's going to be the actual?
I think he'll be on the ladder, because last year it was Invincible Russell Westbrook on the ladder.
You're right.
That was 2,500. So I think he is going to be there, yeah. Which is staggering. He actually has a bit of value. He actually is about 50k right now. I mean, he's probably not now. He's probably dropping by the minute.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I thought a couple of them have made some decent MT. Like he pulling him has paid for at least one of my in-game cards. But yeah, at this point, I'll get, like, I would have got him if they put him in one of the other. But I'm not playing 2,000 games of triple threat. If they
2,500.
If they put him in draft, for example, I might have got him because he's my favorite player.
But
that's it.
2,500. I mean, like, that is if you're at 2,000, even if you're at 2,000, to do another 500 in, and you know, realistically, how quickly can you do 500 games of triple threat? I mean, that's still an intense grind.
There's one person who's going to have this card.
Well, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah, of course. Nobody else. I mean, he can wear it as a badge of honor, but like,
yeah,
it's not even that, because it's just a card that you can just buy. Like, they could have just asked him, what card do you want from triple threat? Because you're the only person who's going to get it.
Now that I've said it, but now I think about it, that's got to be really disappointing for him, because he has literally ground this out all year, and he's played like hundreds of additional games as well.
He'd be well over 2,500 now. I mean, I think he's on. I don't know if he's watching this, he can let us know. But like, I think he's on. It wouldn't surprise me if he's on like 5k games. Honestly.
Yeah, I think he is. Yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me.
And for that, the culmination of a 1 year grind, because all of these cards are relevant to a few days, right? That we're going to play for.
Yeah.
His is a combination of a full year grind, and this is his
of one game mode.
That's got to be good.
The dedication is insane. And yeah, to not even make that a new card, to be like, you know, hey, here for the 10, I don't even think that's exaggerating. Like, maybe like double digits, triple digits people hitting 2,500 wins. Like, it's going to be so low. It would be one of the rarest cards in the game.
Because I guess part of the mentality for that is like you're grinding through that because you want to get to the end of year being one of a handful of people that has a card. That's what it's been in previous years. But this is the outcome. So what was the last one? What do you remember? What the last triple threat reward was?
2,000 wins right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's really going to become the badge of honor for that mode.
I'm at 1,200, so I'm a little bit far away. Elgin Baylor's in the vault. I know that.
Yeah. I remember Lanier was one season. I don't know if that was last season. I think there was someone since.
Dominique. So Dominique is the. He's the token, isn't he? Yeah. And even Dominique's like, I've seen a handful on Twitter, maybe. And he was released, the last season started, 1st of July. Even that, I've only seen a handful of. So that is at least a badge of honor. But, why don't... I mean, again, it should be an end game as well. I feel like we've had an Invincible in there. You should at least up it a notch to an end game card and reward people, stick Yao in there for all I care. Do you know what I mean? Like, if somebody gets it, then just fair enough. Triple Threat Offline's been so unrewarding this year. If you give somebody a card that's worth 400k, I don't particularly care. And I'm going to say, well done for doing it. You're crazy. But to just give a little Vince, which has already been in the vault, if you play Triple Threat Offline like that, you've probably pulled him out of the vault like you did. You've probably packed him already over that week. If you played that many games, you don't have weeks where you don't play Triple Threat,
Yeah. You would have had the last two cards actually we spoke about, probably D-Rose as well.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. I think their mindset has been, we would have put in cards that people are unlikely to have, right? Mm-hmm. I guess that's their ultimate goal, is they actually want people playing. So I think they've gone for the least likely cards that people would have that are still in their minds half decent, right? Mm-hmm. Because, like I said, they couldn't have put Giannis in. They couldn't have put LeBron in. These are cards that most people have, so they won't even look at it. So they've gone for the more obscure cards. I would say of the Invincibles, D-Rose and Vince are probably some of the least obtained.
So Vince definitely, because of his price. I think his price shows that he's not been paid that much.
Yeah, and I think also a lot of people that pulled these cards would have sold them, right? So, because they were worth so much at the time.
Yeah.
So I kind of get it. Shall I make my point now?
Do it.
The headline for this.
Do it.
This is how they saved the season. They need to make it a catch-up season.
That's like every level is like a previous reward from previous seasons. Yeah.
Let's run through like level 40, right? Every 5 levels or something, you get a different level 40 reward. I didn't get Carmelo. be great just to have him. You know what I mean? Like, even though I probably won't use him or whatever, it would be great to just tick that box and have him in the collection. Unlimited man could be amazing. This is where this would be a game changer. If they really do reduce the tiers, if they reduce the tiers rather than like eliminating the first 5 tiers, keep all of the tiers and reduce the games.
Yeah, that's exactly what I should do. Yeah. If they don't do that, we're in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. Like, you know, you get into, what was the reward last season? So Grant Hill. You finish Pink Diamond, you get Grant Hill. You finish Diamond, you get Michael Finley. You finish Amethyst and you get Netaliki. People will play that mode. People will 100% play Unlimited for the first time this whole year because they can win 8 games and get Bob Netaliki. And they won't even do it to use the card. They'll do it to put it on Twitter to say, I got every Unlimited reward.
Yeah, badge of
honor. And make it look
again.
like they completed Unlimited every season. Like, that's what they'll do. Because they did it in 20. Do you remember?
Yeah, I do, yeah. When you had to go 12-0 and they put like, if you get 11 wins, you get this previous one, down to like 5 wins. If you got 5 wins, you got like the season 1 Diamond Larry Bird. So they really did.
I think right at the end, they put everyone in, because I started grinding like 2K20 at Glenn Rice. So he was the first level. He was the first unlimited reward I got, 12-0 reward. But I ended up with every card.
Yeah, and that felt good. You know, you can look back and think, oh yeah, I did get all the unlimited cards.
Yeah, and then like let's move on to clutch time, because think about this for a second, right? So clutch time at every tier we get. Every 10 wins, you get one of the old cards, but you put all the clutch time rewards on the RNG wheel.
Yeah, send it. Why not? It's every game you get a card.
At worst, you'll get an MT, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if they're all like
worst, you're getting
pink diamonds, dark matters, opals, you're getting what, 1,000 for pink diamond, 1,500 for opals, 2,000 for dark matters. I don't know how much I just got for. Something like that. Again, that's a massive improvement on like 250 MT, and you feel like you're getting something. You're actually getting a player rather than one token.
It's a season to collect like trophies. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's what it is. Same with draft. Put them all on the draft ascension board. Same with ascension. Put all the old ascension boards so I can get Daryl Dawkins. You know what I mean? It's that'll be a big deal for me, bro.
This is all a ruse to get Daryl Dawkins. That's what this is.
I'm upset. And triple threat of line, like same. You know, put them all in the
vault.
You know, rotate them every day if you need to, but just put them all in there in some way, shape, or form. I think that's what will save the season. I think people will play. The key to me is unlimited. That's the key. If they do that, because like I said, the people have like Twitter versions of themselves, right? They project themselves a certain way, regardless of how good or bad they are at the game. And I know people will grind the hell out of that game to get at least 8 of them and make it look like they completed it every season.
I think Netaliki's probably still usable as well, even at this point. Like
Finley is as well.
Yeah.
Like
I do agree. Will that happen? I think the answer is no. I've done it before, but again, probably not. Right, so to recap, we have got level 40 in our world, in our better world than this. We have got level 40 as Tracy McGrady's Raptors card. We've got Unlimited as Ben Simmons, Clutch Time as Shaq, Limited as Tim Duncan, Draft as Tim Duncan, Ascension Board as a Steph Curry, as an homage to his finals MVP, but not actually giving him a new card. And then triple threat, I mean, like, it can stay as Vince Carter, can't it? It doesn't really. Or like put Yao Ming. Either go extreme, make it just like run of the mill, or just like chuck in a like ridiculous. So you'll have to let us know down below. But how do you think that season would compare to what 2K have managed to do? And we can see on Twitter the reaction from the community to this. Unsurprisingly,
I don't see how anyone could disagree with our takes on the draft and limited.
I don't think so. So right now it's got 1,000 replies and 2,000 likes. God knows who's liking this, but it's got 1,000 replies. You would do very, very well to find a single positive reply out of 1,000. Obviously, that's a tiny minority out of the people who see it on Twitter. And then people on Twitter are a tiny minority of people who actually play the game. And then Unlimited or Ultimate Team, well, not Ultimate Team, wrong game. MyTeam is then like a portion of 2K as a whole. So like in general, we are boiling it down to like a very small percentage, but it's a very vocal minority. You know, the people on Twitter, they are loud, they are outspoken, and they let their opinions be known. Nobody at 2K could have thought this would be taken any other way than extremely and overwhelmingly negative. And I don't understand why they would want that as a company. When you've got 2K23 pre-orders open, you know, they're asking people for in dollars, $150 for the next game, $100 for the mid-tier version, and I think it's $80 for the standard version. That's open now. 2K23 news is coming out. I think we get some new news tomorrow on Thursday. We're a month away from the new game, and you've created so much, disappointment, angst, anger, whatever emotion people are feeling. I think the main one for me is probably just disappointment, I guess. It's to be expected, but it is still a little bit disappointing. And I just don't understand why you'd create such a negative environment when it's not necessary to, when you've got the means to make it better.
It is tricky. It is tricky because they don't care. It's whether you consider it a bad thing or not. That's the real question right now. You know me, I've got quite a positive disposition at this point in my 2K journey. I'm struggling to find the positive on this. Like, I did a video yesterday, which I kind of knew would burn the house down in a lot of ways by just releasing it. Like, I genuinely thought about deleting it.
Was this the season 8? Wasn't it? Yeah, I watched it. I watched a little bit. Yeah, I watched it.
Did you agree with it?
To an extent, yes. No,
Okay,
I see where you're coming from. Absolutely. Like, it was designed for, the fun aspect of, using all these cards that you've amassed the team this year. But from a business side of things, I think they've just missed the mark completely because, like, their goal is to make money. And if you don't have people playing the game, have we ever seen? I've been in the community for a good couple of years or whatever, but like, I've never seen so many people playing other games. As a 2K player, you're kind of just like a hardcore 2K player. If you say you play 2K, somebody says, "What other games do you play?" You're like, "No, I play 2K.
Yeah.
That's all I play."
You are right. There's no doubt about it. Like, yeah, I mean, you log into any Twitch. People aren't even streaming. First,
that's the thing. Yeah, you don't even log into Twitch anymore to see 2K there. You see your favorite 2K streamers playing just anything else, and we've never seen that before. So it can be fun, and I always say, like, it's great if people can find fun in the game. Brilliant. Like, I'm jealous. I wish I could. It's probably because I played it so much this year. But as a company, surely having users is the thing to do and bringing excitement. And this is sort of their last throw of the dice to, if you put some crazy rewards. I think if we put the rewards we put in here, you'd have a lot more people logging in on Friday. And, what are they going to do on Friday? They might check out the packs. They might see the endgame packs. They might drop a couple 100,000 VC.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you're new to the game, you just don't know any different, right? Like,
100%.
You would have no idea whether Scotty Barnes or Giannis was better. You just wouldn't know. Most people new to the game would just go off the player name, right? So they'll go, "Oh, Luka, great. That's as good as it gets. Luka's my favorite player." When the reality is, there are 5 or 6 better point guards, including Luka. It's a tricky time of year. Now, there was a part of that video that I took out. There's actually a part of that video I took out, so I'll say it here.
Oh, we're getting a little bit of behind the scenes BTS content.
Yeah, I just didn't want, it wasn't intended to offend anyone, but I know it could have done.
Okay.
I spoke about this last week, right? The divide between content creator and someone who plays the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm someone who plays the game that makes content. And you've got people that are content creators that play the game, right? And those are two entirely different mindsets when it comes to playing, like how you feel about this game. And last year, that was the mistake I made. It's why I burnt out. I was like, I'm a content creator that plays the game.
Mm-hmm.
Why are they not giving me any content? The one thing I can say categorically right now is it's never, ever been worse to be a 2K content creator.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think you can say that to any content creator and they will say, yeah, this is the worst. Yeah, absolutely.
The bit that I took out is I think people need to be a little bit careful that they don't buy into the content creator narrative right now, because every video, every post is, this is a disaster, this is the worst it's ever been.
I did do a season 8 is the worst video.
Yeah, and everyone is, and it's genuine. That's why I didn't want to say it in that video, because I know it's genuinely how people feel. I know how frustrated people are who make and rely on content. You're someone who plays 8 hours a day on stream, you release a video every day, this is your income, this is your job, you've dedicated your life to this, and they have let you down as a content creator in a way that I haven't seen a game do before. But then you've got other people who release 10 videos a day throughout the year, and they're barely getting a video out because there's nothing to talk about, and those videos are literally 10 minutes of nothing because there is nothing to talk about. I've released 3 videos in the last 2 weeks because there's nothing to really.
I think I'm the same now. Like I've barely done anything as myself, but I never think I never look at 2K and think, they need to drop something for me to do.
Yeah.
I always think like do something that's going to please the community. Do something where they're going to tweet it out and I can look at the replies and it's just like people spamming W's at them, saying like, oh, well done, 2K, you've done a good. That's the main thing I want to see, because then as soon as you got the positivity there, that then trickles into people playing the game, which then trickles into people watching people play the game more.
Yes.
When you just have this cycle of like L's and, L plus ratios on Twitter, it's just all that negativity. Then it's people playing other games. Then it's people not watching 2K because they don't want to watch it because they're not playing it. That's what I really don't understand. They could have gone about season 9 in so many different ways. And again, even from last year, they've regressed. You want to see progression year on year. Again, we've found ourselves with 2K regressing and just being so out of touch with the community. You just wonder, like, we're in 2022 now, nearly in 2023. They've got this Next Makers program out there, which has got content creators in it, giving them feedback. You could have asked anybody, how's this going to be received? Is this going to go down well? Are the community going to be happy? Are people going to pre-order 2K23 off the back of this? Because this is now going to be the last month of people playing this game before deciding whether to buy the new one. Is this going to pump up sales? Are people going to look at this and think, okay, that's, 2K letting the game go out in a blaze of glory? Or are they going to think we've just let this game die and we're all on 2K23 and have been for, however long?
So my answer to that question is like, it will. I think if you've played this game all year, this is not a nice time to be going through. I think if you're new to the game, it's fine. Like I said, people aren't going to know any better. They're just going to look at what's there and go take it at face value. I don't think it's going to put people off. Like, you need to have the knowledge to be disappointed by it. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Can we erase our memories?
Yeah. Like,
can I start afresh?
For me, I'm enjoying it, bro. Like, this is a good time. Like, I did the video of getting Grant Hill the other day. It's the most stressed I've been playing this game for a long time. Put myself in that spot. But, you stop, you look back. I felt accomplished.
And you got something to show for it as well. You got that card that you can look at and you can run that card and be like, check me out.
Exactly.
You can flex it on Twitter.
I'm not overly fussed if for 3 weeks I don't get that feeling. It's not something that bothers me. I think actually the reality is this new season is geared towards people that have just got the game. I think that is what it's geared towards. I think it's like a short burst of understanding XP, understanding Unlimited, understanding the mechanics. I've made it 3 weeks. But the big thing here, man, and this is something I don't want to understate. I stopped making content this time last year because I burnt out so hard going from 20 to 21.
Yeah.
The lack of break there, and this is, like I said, this is where I separate myself as someone who plays the game and someone who makes content on the game. Someone who makes content on the game, this is a disaster. For someone who plays the game, this is a blessing. It's actually good that I don't have anything to do for a few weeks, that I can ease off, that I can play other games, that I can build a theme park in Planet Coaster and just do other things. Life, spend time with my wife, go outside. There's a whole bunch of
grass.
Yeah, there's grass. I know there's grass out there. I've seen it. Like, for the next 4 weeks, I can chill and then come in refreshed into 2K23. And I think that's the mindset that 2K have about what they're doing. I think they're going, right, let's just let it burn. Let's get enthusiastic. Let's put all the effort into next year. Let's all come in with a new energy. One of the biggest challenges with 2K is we all know that they just don't have enough developers for the game. And that's where they're at now, is they're deciding where to put a handful of developers. Like, do we keep them focused on 22 for 3 weeks? Or do we just burn that 3 weeks and make sure we have a good year next year? And that, like, the same mindset I have with the game is how 2K feel about what they're doing right now. And I get it. It's just the only people that will feel really disappointed by this, because it is disappointing, is content creators and people who have played all year that wanted like a bang at the end of the year, and it just fizzled. It just fizzled. And the concern now, and what I'm sure 2K are concerned about but probably don't care about, is this season and next season going to define the game? Because I think that's what they're dangerously close to getting to.
I think they're already there. I think they've already hit that point. For not for me personally. I would still say this is the best year, and probably not really that close because other years have had so many like game breaking things. I'll happily come out and say it's the best. But the way that season 8 was handled and the way that season 9 is now going to be, I think that will turn, because recency bias is massive in like any walk of life, but especially at video games when things are moving day to day, you're logging in every day, you want to see something new. I think it really has tarnished it for a lot of people. Maybe there are, most people on Twitter, we see like, oh, I'm never going to buy 2K again. And the next purchase they make is the Ultimate Edition. Most people are like that because they love basketball.
Everyone.
Yeah,
even people that stop, like content creators will stop, but they'll still have the game.
Yeah, and then they'll fire it up again when the new one comes around. It's just a yearly cycle. But there will be some people that will be on the fence. There will be some legitimate people that think, the way these last 2 months gone, I can't be bothered with that. And now that we've got so much time to play other games, they might have found a new thing that they're really interested in. I'm playing FIFA, Battlefield, Fortnite. I'm going to download Fall Guys soon. I'm gonna have a great time. To be fair, I'm actually. People come in and they're like, oh, I can't wait for 2K23. And I'm like, like you just said a minute ago, I'm enjoying this time so much, playing so many other different games, because you just don't get that time throughout the year, because we are like, like I said earlier, when you play 2K, you play 2K and it kind of just consumes you. It is life, exactly. So having this time to play other games is great. But for those people who do just love basketball with such a passion, they just don't have that option there, because they're the people that really do want things. The people can survive without the things, but for the people who do want something, you might be losing customers there. You might be losing sales, VC sales. I don't know.
I just think it's unlikely, bro. Like, if the complaint is, I'm so angry that there's nothing to do, that I'm going to vent on Twitter or whatever. Like, I'm so angry.
That shows a level of care.
Yeah, as soon as a new game comes out, that feeling is resolved for them and they'll be back on it. I just think that's the case. I think there's one point where 2K lost people, like actually lost people through their actions. And I think that was the start of 2K21 with the stick shooting. I think people just went, this ain't for me, I'm out, this isn't the game I know, and checked out. I don't think they're ever going to experience like a loss like that. Like, the amount of people I know that stopped playing 2K20.
Nobody can shoot anything.
Yeah. My entire like friend base in this game disappeared. Like, they all just checked out. They were like, nah. And now they're like, it's weird because now they're thinking about coming back because 2K22 has been largely praised throughout the year.
Yeah.
And you're right. They are running that risk of like, are we going to lose people over the next 2 months? But I think 2K are more concerned right now about going, when people load up that game, we do not want to see what happened in 2K21, which is just a fire of people just leaving.
And that is a sort of a yearly cycle as well. That first month is always, or the first couple of weeks is always, we're beta testers. We're doing the work that should have been done over the summer, and then we've got to iron out all the bugs and the problems and the glitches.
I told you, I don't really play the first season.
Yeah, because it's a completely different game to what you're going to play come Christmas time.
I've got every, did I get every level 40 last year apart from Steph? I didn't get Carmelo, but, I got Ray and Giddy and all the others.
I didn't get Steph either. Yeah, I didn't get Steph season 1 because it was just, I couldn't do it.
Oh, that was a mistake.
It was a massive mistake. I regretted it later, but at the time, it was a great idea to not get it.
You just got to chill at the start. But like I said, they will be defined by their reviews. And I think this year, 2K know that they have done a good job. They've done a really good job with pacing. Like I said, they've listened, they've reacted, they've responded. They're engaging with the community on Twitter and things like that. They've been more vocal. They've done a way better job than they have for a very long time. And I think that is the legacy that's going to kind of exist for most people, apart from people that are really obsessed about the game and wanted another 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks of gameplay. I'm not someone who's really fussed about it. I don't think anything's happened that I didn't predict. I think it just is what it is. And I'm ready to get refreshed and jump into 23 very slowly, like tiptoeing into the
game. They're making a shoot with a goddamn R2 button or something next year.
Yeah.
Shooting.
Yeah, I just think that's where we are. I didn't really have massive expectations. They're gearing it towards people that have picked up the game today to try and get them interested in what's going on right now. Like I said, quick fire season. Get used to everything and buy the next game, please.
But would Scotty Barnes get a casual? Would J.R. Smith get a casual?
Like I said, I don't think they know any better. Like I said,
you think they're just seeing end game cards and think, yeah.
I think anyone who's played, if you're upset right now because of the content, you are buying the game next year.
Yeah, if you're that
because you care that much about it.
Yeah. Monopoly doing Monopoly type things when they've got it.
It is what it is, man. It just is what it is. Yeah, if you care that much, you were buying the game next year. All they're interested in right now is just dropping something easy, because it's going to be easy. That's the one thing we know.
Like, I imagine all the XP will be available day one. I would imagine. There'll be thousands. You know, it wouldn't be surprising if there's literally just like 15 challenges at 10k a pop.
Literally, yeah.
It wouldn't surprise
one
Duncan
Shack is 25k. Like, that's what it's going to be. People will have that done on day one. That's it. That's their goal right now. I get it. I do get it.
Yeah. So, in conclusion, I think our season 9 would be a lot better. I think we made it a lot better. I think I wasn't expecting anything. You know, we both knew that we're never going to drop new cards, so that wasn't a surprise. I would still say a little. You know, I wasn't really going to play it regardless. But even seeing those names, I was like, well, that's not going to get other people playing it. You know, other people who might have been on the fence. You know, I wasn't going to play regardless. But there'll be people that were maybe like, you know, if there is a KD there, I might play for KD. But then they're probably not going to play that now. It is what it is, isn't it? You know, we've got, I think it is a month today. No, a month yesterday to Ticker 23.
Yeah.
We just got to, you know, sadly admit that this year we've paid for a 12-month live service game. And we get a 10-month live service game off the back of it, pretty much. I
don't want to drag this out any longer. Do you think that's the case? Do you think that's how? Is that how everyone sees it? Do you think like we buy the game and we'll get exactly like 365 days?
I mean, that's how I base it off of FIFA.
Yeah,
they do that. You know, up until
FIFA is the worst thing that ever happened to 2K.
Oh, massively. It's like the big brother that they just hate being compared to.
Yeah,
like the thing that can't shake. Like, up until the last day of FIFA 21, they'll be dropping, or FIFA 22, they'll be dropping content for that game to keep people engaged. And then, you know, when FIFA 23 comes around, they'll be like, okay, here you go. Now we'll start doing that again on FIFA 23. But obviously, they've got such a bigger dev team. And I think, you know, every problem we have with 2K, and it's been the same for so many years, comes down to the fact they don't have enough staff and they won't hire enough staff. If they had more devs, they could split them out. Like, so there's clearly not enough devs going around to put some on 2K22, some on 2K23. It has to be all or none. And there's just not enough people to do those jobs. You know, they don't have anybody communicating on Twitter, really. They don't have a community manager. Everything will be solved with more people, but they haven't done it for like 10 years now. So I don't think they're going to be doing that anytime soon. So this kind of cycle, I'm not expecting it to change. I expect next year's game. I do have a little bit of hope for next year's game in terms of like the content structure of things. You know, I think they've tried so many different things this year, which hopefully they've gone, all right, that worked great. We've got the figures from that. Everyone loved it. Everyone was logging in. This one worked great. This one, not so much. We won't do that again. Nobody did that exchange. Nobody bought those packs in the token market, but everyone bought those packs. Hopefully they've now got a good base of data to lay down an entire year and go, all right, we know this year we're going to kill it. And then with the gameplay stuff, you know, that we went through in the blog, that could sort out the gameplay side of things. It could be good. It could be good.
I think you're right. I think it's interesting because, like, the criticism is a vocal minority on 2K, right? Because most people just don't care enough to say anything, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
14 million people.
If you send a tweet, if you send a tweet out, you are a massive minority because most people are silent.
2K won't pay attention to that. You're right. It's the data that will tell.
Yeah, 100%.
Ultimately, what people are enjoying and what isn't, and there's going to be some black and white data there, like no one 100%. Plays unlimited, things like that. It will be really interesting to see how they respond to what they have rather than what the community says on a daily basis. Because I don't think they care less. And like the situation now is just that they're just looking at it going, newbies just want something to do. I don't care if 100 people are complaining on Twitter. That doesn't change our life or our trajectory or our profit margin. At the end of the day, we're just going to do what needs to be done, tick those boxes and move on. So yeah, let's see what they do next year.
Yeah, because even like
that's our next video. It's a wish list.
Yes, but unless the blog tomorrow or the news tomorrow is MyTeam. If the news tomorrow is MyTeam, we're doing something about that. But
oh yeah, there's one thing we haven't discussed. Do you think there's going to be anything else in season 9?
No, otherwise it would have been. I think if there was a new domination, that would have been advertised. I think if there was spotlights, it would have been advertised. I think will there be an invincible in the
they haven't mentioned anything about the RNG cards in the modes.
No.
What are we going to get for 50 wins on clutch time? We have no idea. There is a bunch of unanswered questions, to be honest.
Token market as well.
Yeah.
Although that's a sore topic right now with the 750 for. Maybe I shouldn't have brought that one up. There are a few question marks, but I don't think any of them have happy answers. I'm going to be streaming on Friday, and I'll see what's around in the mode. I'll check everything out. Last year, I don't think there was an invincible exchange, so I'm not actually expecting an invincible exchange. We had invincible Dr. J in the token market this season, so I guess maybe they'll just put like a random invincible pack for 1,000 tokens, but that would be ridiculously bad value.
I think that's exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, that's like what I can see them doing.
I think invincible pack will be like 1,000 tokens, and game pack will be like 1,500.
Yeah,
something like
that. And then in the vault, it's probably just another random card, maybe like Manu to pair with. Oh, it's not Tim Duncan, is it? It's Vince Carter. I mean, like they should just put like Tracy McGrady in there because again, it should be a better prize out of the vault because you've only got a small chance of getting them. But I wouldn't expect. I wouldn't be expecting anything really.
That's the key. That's the key to 2K happiness.
Anyone 2K motto: never expect anything. Oh, we can live.
That's why I enjoy the game. No expectations. Yeah, awesome, man. All right, nice.
Awesome. We will wrap it up there. So our season 9 looking great with T-Mac and KD and Shaq.
So excited.
And then 2K's one with JR Smith. So that's going to do it.
Enjoy your invincible Tim Duncan, everyone.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So we're back. Yeah, hopefully my team blog in the next couple of weeks. You know, I think it's usually quite late they drop it, but you never know with 2K. They might throw a curveball. But yeah, so we'll definitely have you back on soon. Thank you for coming here again, buddy. I hope you enjoyed your stay for the second time.
Thanks for having me, man. Always fun.
It was indeed. Hope you guys enjoyed. See you next time, and peace.